Let's play. And here's my advice to you today. Ask me any theological question you want, and I will give you an answer. And I want you to not believe me. And then I want you to go home, read the Bible for yourself, and see if I was right or wrong. You don't know who I am. Don't just listen to anything anybody tells you. That's how so many people got into too much trouble. I'll give you an answer to any theological question you ask, and all I ask of you at that point is to not believe me, then go home and read the Bible for yourself and see if what I was saying was right or wrong. That's good advice. What you say?
Words don't mean anything if actions don't prove it.
If Jesus did not act on what he said,
Jesus did act on what he said.
Okay, so Jesus
like when he said, "Go into the highways and byways and hedges and compel them to come in." Then my father goes, "This young man claims to be a Christian. He's already told me that it doesn't matter what Jesus said." When I've given him quotes from Jesus, he's told me it doesn't matter what Jesus said.
But Jesus actually backed up.
I think that could be possibly the worst theological statement I have ever heard from a professing Christian, is it doesn't matter what Jesus says.
What church do you go to?
I go to Bible Believers Fellowship, where our motto is sinners not welcome. That's our motto here, Bible Believers Fellowship. That's right. We read the Bible and we obey it. Yes.
Tell me what this says.
Tell you what it says?
Yeah, read it off for me.
Are you illiterate or what?
No, I just want you to read it off.
All right, this side, it says warning. Let's see here. Atheist, drunk, liar, thief, sexual pervert, hell forever. That comes to you from 1 Corinthians 6, 9, and 10. 1 Corinthians 6, 9, and 10 says, "Do you not know that the unrighteous will not inherit the kingdom of God? Do not be deceived. Neither idolater, nor adulterer, nor fornicator, nor homosexual offender, nor drunkard, nor thief, nor slanderer, nor swindler will inherit the kingdom of God." But this side has the good news. This side has the game plan of salvation. Repent. Surrender to Jesus. Stop sinning. Fear God. And live holy. Yes.
If we can't drink the water, who is Jesus drinking wine?
The Bible never says Jesus drank wine.
He said he drank.
The Bible never once says that Jesus drank
He
wine.
drank, but he never got drunk.
He made it though. Come on now.
This is not what Jesus would want.
He turned water into wine. So if Jesus wants you to have wine tonight, then walk around with bottled water, and if he wants you to have wine, he'll turn it into wine.
Oh, shit, for real?
Yeah. Walk around with bottled water, and if Jesus wants you to have wine, he'll turn it into it. No problem.
Do this on purpose online.
Do I come out here on purpose? Yes. I want to reach as many people as I can in the shortest amount of time that I can, and tell them to come to Christ. Oh, I get lots. I've been married 31 years. Good, godly woman. I have holy sex. That's the way God intended it. God created sex. It's a good and wonderful thing, but only to be used. Sex was created by God, but only to be used in marriage. One man, one woman, holy matrimony. That's God's intended use for sex.
So against butt stuff and stuff. Why do you put it G-spot in your prostate?
Well, that misconception. Certainly in your digestive system, there are muscles that push out your fecal matter. Yes, but just because an area of your body is sensitive, like your butt or your ear or your nostril or your armpit, just because there are areas of your body that are sensitive, like your nostrils and armpits and ears, does not mean that you're required to ram a penis into it. Just because you have a sensitive area. See, the anus is a part of your digestive system, not your reproductive system.
What is she like in the ear?
The anus is made up of very, very thin tissue, not designed to take pounding. When you have anal sex, you're ripping that thin tissue in the anus, and you're going to get E. coli bacteria, fecal matter into your system. What's that?
Is she going to get it, or am I going to get it?
Who?
The girl. Like,
whoever's having a penis rammed into their anus.
so I don't have to.
The anus is not designed to take a pounding like that. It's designed as an exit, not an entrance. Even aside from any biblical issue, it's very, very harmful, very physically and medically harmful to have anal sex. Very, very harmful. Yes, I have 2 grown kids. Yes. 2 grown kids. Yep.
Hey, bro.
They turned out great. What's that?
When you was 15 years old, you wasn't beating your beer.
I used to look at porn, yeah. I used to be addicted to porn. Well, I don't know about addicted, but I used to like porn a lot. Porn, again, even aside from the biblical issue, just medically, you need to look up just medically what pornography does to your brain. You sure can. It'll fry your brain. Pornography will fry your brain. Pornography does the same thing in your brain as drugs do. It releases a huge amount of dopamine and endorphins, so much so that your brain is flooded with an unnatural amount of dopamine, and your dopamine receptors will start dying off because they're being overly saturated. And that's why with drugs and pornography, you start with simple stuff, and soon you're going to need more and more, harder and harder stuff to get the same result. It's because you're frying the synapses and the dopamine receptors in your brain. But Jesus himself said, "You have heard it said of old that thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say unto you that if any man so much as looks at a woman to lust after her, he's committed adultery already in his heart." Jesus said, if your eye, listen up, porn addicts, Jesus said, if your eye causes you to sin, pluck it out, cast it from you. If your hand causes you to sin, cut it off, cast it from you. Better to go through life maimed than to be cast into hell with both eyes and both hands. Now, Jesus is speaking in hyperbole at that point. He's not telling you to mutilate yourself, because if you plucked out one eye, you could still lust with the other. If you sinned with one hand and cut it off, you could still sin with the other. He's saying that God has such a hatred for sin, and it's so destructive to you, that it would be better that you be maimed than to die in sin and be cast into hell for all of eternity.
I like that clip. That says no porn.
That's right. That's right. That's how you need to live. I do, but I'm not giving them away.
Get one, bro.
No. I had them custom made. Go have them custom made. What? What's that? Do you have a question, sir? Did you have a question, sir? I'm more than happy to take any theological questions. Let's play. And here's my advice to you today. Ask me any theological question you want, and I will give you an answer. And I want you to not believe me. And then I want you to go home, read the Bible for yourself, and see if I was right or wrong. You don't know who I am. Don't just listen to anything anybody tells you. That's how so many people got into too much trouble. I'll give you an answer to any theological question you ask, and all I ask of you at that point is to not believe me, then go home and read the Bible for yourself and see if what I was saying was right or wrong. That's good advice.